Okay, at this point, all of your components, all of your head parts, the hair and the eyes, should show up on your component menu on the left. The next component we're going to create is a brand new component, so we can't grab it off of something that we've started. We're going to go over to this components menu, and when we scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a plus sign that gives us a new component. When we click that, we're going to call our component headshot, because we're just going to create the head, but we're going to build it off of all of these components that we've created. I'm going to start with the blank head so we know where to place everything, and I'm going to go ahead and actually lock it down because that one's not going to move. The next thing I'm going to do is pick one of my hairstyles and place it on top of that head. And let's select a second hairstyle. You will have all three of your hairstyles, and you will be placing them on top of each other, but for now it's easier to configure it next to each other so we can test all of our logic. But I want my headshot to be an avatar designer, so for the user to be able to choose their hairstyle, I have to create a parameter called back hairstyle. And I want them to choose, but a 0 isn't useful, so I need to change this parameter type. The parameter type has different behavior depending on what type it is. You've probably used a color and the text already, and maybe even the font. But this hairstyle is going to have a selection of 3 values, and in mine I have a straight hairstyle, I have a braid, and let's say that I will have another style called a bun. When I set that, now this parameter allows me to select those 3 things. But selecting it doesn't change anything. I have to actually program that. So the way that I program that is I want to make each one of these hairstyles visible or not visible, depending on what the selection is. So for the straight one, I'm going to go to Modify, Advanced, Visible. And this visible gives me a checkbox to turn that hair on and off. But I want to edit expression, and instead of it using a checkbox where I have to explicitly turn that off, I want that to show if my back hairstyle, that parameter, has been selected as straight. Okay, so let's talk through what I just did. So now instead of a checkbox that I have to explicitly change, I have I still have a visible property or parameter, but it's going to change if this parameter has been chosen to be straight. And the syntax of that is that variable name for the parameter. A double equal sign is basically saying, hey, is this variable equal to the value, the string value of straight? So once I have it under here, it's evaluating to true, but if I change it to braid, it's going to evaluate to false, and then the hair is not going to show. Okay, I'm going to do this same thing for my second hairstyle. I'm going to go to Modify, Advanced, Visible. I'm going to change this to only show if the back hairstyle is equal to braid. And the double equal is just a programming thing. A single equal means something different in programming, so the double equal is basically an evaluator that tests whether this value is equal to the string value that I have on the right. Okay, so now as I switch from straight to braid, the 2 different hairstyles will toggle on and off, but what I want is I want it to look like an avatar designer. So I'm going to go back to braid, and then I'm going to put that over the head. So now when I toggle the different hairstyles, it looks like it's one avatar but different options. Okay, so I'm going to do this same thing with the bangs. I'm going to grab the bangs, the first bangs, put it on top. But now this is going to be a different option. This is going to be the front hairstyle. So I'm going to create a second variable called front hairstyle. That as well needs to be changed to a select. And let's say that we have some bangs, we have a sweep, or I think we called it emo, and then we have let's just leave it at 2, but I do want yours to have 3. Okay, so this set of bangs is I need a visible modifier, and then I only want that to show if the front hairstyle is bangs. Okay, and then let's grab that last hairstyle, the emo hair. I'm going to apply the visible, advanced visible, and that one should only show if the front hairstyle equals emo, and I need 2 equal sign. Okay, so if I switch to emo, I'll see that one. If I switch to braid, I'll see that one. Now the really cool thing is I only want to show one back style and one front style, but I'm going to take all of my hairstyles and I'm going to do a modify union. And the interesting thing is only 2 of these are going to show at a time, but whichever 2 I pick, it will union the front and the back. And so it will appear like it's a single hair design, even though now I'm going to have all these different options between the front and the back. You don't need to do the union with the eyeball, so let's go ahead and add the eyeball. So just like the hair, I do want to be able to choose between different eyeballs. So let's flip that one horizontally, and I'm going to choose another eye style. And let's make that a select. I feel like these look like Mickey Mouse eyes, but maybe some other ones will be the shape of almonds or the shape of crescent moons. Okay, but just like the hair, I need to add a visible modifier. And then only show this eye if the style is Mickey Mouse. Okay, and the same thing with this. I'm going to change it to have a visible parameter, and that parameter is only going to show if the eye style is Mickey Mouse. You will have a second eye style, and then when you program that, those should show in your drop down, but mine are just the Mickey Mouse ones. Okay, and I'm not really sure how it chooses which color to pick, but there we go. So it might be worth it to place these eyeballs behind the hair, and I'm going to do that by taking these eyes and placing it further down the list, and then it'll be behind that hair. Okay, when you're done with your headshots, you now have a headshot component. You can come back to your worksheet. In the very, very bottom of your worksheet is you giving me 3 examples. But I want these 3 examples by you dragging on a headshot and then changing some configuration. So this one is the braid and emo. Maybe I have another one where I have straight hair and bangs. Okay, just so that you are showcasing all of your different components across the 3 panels at the bottom.